and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jenny. Today's video is going to be a bronzy summer, not necessarily glam. It is kind of on the natural side, and we are using a lot of cream products. I feel like cream products work well in the summer. They're not as heavy as powder products, and they tend to look a little bit more natural on the skin, which in the summer months we want a little bit more bronzy, a little bit more glowy, generally a little less than we do in the fall and the winter. So let's go ahead and zoom you in and jump into the tutorial. So I have already zoomed you in a little bit, and we are going to go ahead and start with the face. I did already do my eyebrows just to get that out of the way. So a little while ago when I did my skincare, I went ahead and sprayed my face with the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Face Mist from the Crystal Cavern collection. I'll link that video up here for you in case you're interested. This does just kind of give my skin a little bit of a glowy boost. So I did use that already, and now I am going to go ahead and spray my face with the Tarte Ready Set Radiant Skin Mist. This also just adds a really nice radiant boost to the skin. And as you can see, that just added a nice boost of dewiness, some radiance to the skin. And now what I'm going to do is go in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Rose Priming Serum. I do think that this is a really good primer for one, but I also like the radiance of it as well. So I am just going to take a couple pumps in my hand and press this all over the face. So for the base today, I'm going to be using the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil. This isn't a necessary step. If you want to skip foundation or base completely, that's fine too. Or if you want to put on something with fuller coverage, that is completely fine as well. I'm just going with this because it is light coverage and it's going to help cover some of this redness, but it's not super full coverage, super heavy. I will still want to do a light face. So I am going to take this and just directly put it on my face. Going in with my Sigma F80, I am just going to lightly blend this out. So now I'm going to be going in with concealer, and I am going to be using the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. I do have two of them. I'm going to be using the light one to highlight, and I am going to use a little less than I normally do. I want to just kind of cover the dark circles and the redness on my cheeks. As well as just a little bit of highlighting on the center of the face. And then I'm going to take the darker shade that I have, and I am just going to kind of use it as a, kind of like a cream bronzer, because it does oxidize a little bit and gets a little dark. So that's just kind of how I'm going to use it today. And I am going to go ahead and take just a little bit of the light on the jawline as well. Using my Wet n Wild sponge, I am going to start to blend all of this out. And I'm going to take that concealer up onto the eyelid as well to just kind of cancel out any discoloration. So now what I'm going to do is go into this e.l.f. compact. This is the bronzed pink beige. I'm not really sure that's the shade, but I think it's just called like the Aqua palette. And with my Lexi 514 blush brush, I'm just going to dip into the bronzer, and I'm just going to lightly apply that. You want to get all the creams down before you put powders on so that the creams will blend a little easier. And so I'm just going to apply that anywhere I apply my bronzer normally. And so that would be on the lower end of my cheekbones, and I am not going to contour today, so I am going to apply a little more of this than normal because I do want that kind of definition in the cheek area. And then I'm going to take some along the hairline. And then I'm just going to take some along the top of the nose because that's where the sun would naturally hit me. And then I'm just going to kind of take it haphazardly down the cheeks right here as well, because once again, the sun is naturally going to hit in those areas, and I just want to bring some warmth to the center of the face as well. So now I'm going to go into the ColourPop Super Shock Blush, and this is in the shade Count Me In. It is a matte finish. With a fluffier duo fiber brush, this is a Sephora brand brush, stippling brush. I've had it for a while. I'm just going to kind of swirl that in, and I'm going to apply this to the apples of the cheeks, blushing it back up a little bit onto the cheekbone. This shade is really pretty. It just gives a nice flush of color to the skin without being too much. If you're like me and you have issues with your blush staying on throughout the day, applying a cream underneath powder with a powder blush on top is a really good way to keep blush in place all day long. It just helps the longevity. This is a really old ColourPop duo. I don't even know what it's called. I don't know what these shades are. I'm going to take a little bit of this orange one and just pop it right on top. Just a little bit though, to give a little bit of a sheen and a little bit of more of a orangey kind of shade. So now what I'm going to do is take this highlight, because it is a little bit more natural, and this is on the Luxie 510 foundation brush. This is a little bit more of a natural kind of glowy blush, or highlight I mean. I'm going to take this right on the tops of the cheekbones, Cupid though, and down the nose, because this is a more natural. I don't really want a super beaming highlight down my nose. But so now, just because I'm a little extra, I do want some more glowiness to the cheeks. I'm going to go in with the ColourPop Super Shock Highlighter in the shade On the Cusp. This is in collaboration with Kathleen Lights. And I'm just going to pop that right on top using that same brush. So now, taking my sponge, I am just going to kind of blend out the creases under my eyes. And with my Coty Airspun powder, this is my Coty Airspun powder. It is in a really nice ceramic container that my good friend Brittany Richhart has made. I will link her Instagram down below. She's an excellent ceramic artist. You should definitely check her out. She made this and I thought it would be perfect for powder, so she actually gave it to me. So now I'm going to take just a tiny bit of this powder in my T-zone area and under my eyes, because I am an oily person and I do need to keep these things in place, and I don't want my under eyes to crease. So I am just going to take a tiny bit of this powder just to mattify those areas and keep them from moving. But as a whole, I am not going to set my entire face. So if you are happy with how this looks, you can feel free to stop here, but I do want to go ahead and add some powder products on top just to kind of add to this look. So the first one I'm going to use is a bronzer, and it is the Tarte Park Avenue Princess Amazonian Clay Waterproof Bronzer. This is the shimmery kind of one. There's a matte one as well. And I'm just going to add a little bit more bronzer to those bronzy areas. And since this has a little bit of a glow to it, this is going to add some glow as well. Just a smidge of this stuff though. Same with a blush. I am going to go in with a blush topper. This unfortunately is no longer available. It is the Becca Jaclyn Hill palette, and I am going to be going into this Rose Spurts. This is a luminous blush. They no longer make this shade, but that formulation is still there. A very good dupe for that is actually the Flower Beauty Flower Pot in the shade Warm Hibiscus. It is that same pinky kind of goldy mixture. I do prefer the Becca one over this one, but this is an affordable dupe that is still available. So I am just going to take my Flower Beauty blush brush and just tap into it a little bit and just apply it to the cheeks. This is going to add a little bit more glow and a little bit more of a pinky tone. So now I am actually going to take my Wet n Wild Mega Glow Brightening Rocks, and I am going to lightly dust them all over the face. And I'm going to take a duo fiber brush. This is the Morphe M406, and just lightly kind of poke them in here. And then I'm just going to kind of apply this generally all over the face, just to add a little bit more glow, because you can never have enough glow, you know? Just to kind of the high points of the face, not necessarily where the highlight already is. I do just kind of want to add a little bit of an all over glow. So this is it for the face. I am now going to go ahead and do the eyes. I'm using two liquid eyeshadows, and they are the Made to Last eyeshadows by Jordana. This darker, more rosy gold kind of shade is in the shade Not a Wink Pink, and the more goldish one is in the shade Forever Sand. To start, I'm going to go in with the Not a Wink Pink, and I am just going to kind of brush it on with a little applicator up into the actual crease of my eye. I am going to be using this as the like crease shade, and then taking the Luxie 231 small tapered blending brush, I am just going to blend that out like I would a matte like powder shadow. I like to use cream shadows in the summer, like cream shimmer shadows. I just feel like they're really easy to just pop on and go. This is just going to add a hair of definition to the crease as well as shimmer, so like when I tilt my head back you'll be able to see that shimmery beautifulness of this shade. So now I'm going to go into the Forever Sands goldish shade, and I am going to put this on the inner half of the eye. Now this one is more of like a shimmer as opposed to like a glitter. This is more of like a satiny kind of finish, like where this has that glitter, this does not. So I am just going to go ahead and pat it on the center, not really the center, the inner half of the lid. And I am going to take that same brush and then just kind of blend it out. Just going to add a little bit of light to the inner half of the eye. So I did go ahead and just add a light layer of mascara to top and bottom lashes. I didn't want big super full lashes because I thought that looked kind of weird with this light glowy makeup. And then I did go ahead and add some of the On the Cusp highlighter to the inner corner. And to finish this look up, I am going to be applying a lip gloss. And this lip gloss is the Too Faced Sweet Peach Creamy Peach Oil Lip Gloss in the shade Papa Don't Peach. To finish the entire look, I am going to be going in with a little bit of the Morphe Continuous Setting Makeup Spray. So this is the final look. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed this kind of natural glowy looking summer makeup tutorial. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and if you would like to subscribe, please feel free, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys!